All right, now it is time for the big match preview. West Ham versus Chelsea, London derby at the London Stadium. We are here at the wonderful Roundhouse pub, my local, to have a beer and a chat about the game.
Don't be cheeky today because there's nothing between us. Let me just sort this out before we go on, right? We are still friends.
Yeah.
When we come off them streams, we ain't at each other's throats.
Yeah.
We are still friends. We still have conversations. We still meet up. We are still friends. Like, don't get so offended by our arguments.
We enjoy it. We enjoy the bloody round. We love it, mate. And we have it, like you said.
And thank you so much for interacting in the comments. Whether you're going to say I'm a prick or I'm wrong or whatever, that's what we're here for. That's what opinion's about. You know, I do appreciate the comments.
Exactly.
Regardless of whether they're negative, positive, whatever. So.
That's it. Give us your comments. And I'll tell you what's going to be negative.
God.
This is it. I'm sorry. I'm going to be here to be the negative one, the bearer of the bad news. I know some people don't like it. I'm not positive about this game.
You can't be. You can't be. The only one good thing I would say about going into the game is that Chelsea weren't great on Saturday or Sunday or whatever it was, and it was quite refreshing to see. But the difference between what happened to us and what happened to them is they've now got an array of talent to go and you know, they've still got the likes of Nicholas Jackson, Liam Delap, Joel Pedro. You know, I know some of them played and some of them didn't. I'm just saying, like, they've got different options to go with. I feel like we're stuck with what we've got. You know, if we see Guido Rodriguez putting on a West Ham shirt one more time, God damn,
mate.
You know what I mean? It's not. I don't even want to think about it.
And this is it. And you just look at it objectively, right, team to team. Because I know some people have said, well, you know, anything can happen with West Ham. And that's true. We've seen these mad results. But it doesn't feel like we're just a team that's in bad form. It just looks like we're a bad team. Yeah. Like, on the balance. We have good players, but we're a bad team. And I look at the matchups. They've got the energy. They've got the pace. Do you know what I mean? They've got the technical ability. They've got so much we lack. And you look at what we talk about. We've complained about the midfield for ages. Compare their midfield, one of the best in the league, to ours, one of the worst in the league.
I think it is the best in the league. Caicedo was by far the best player in the midfielder in the league last year. You could argue for Szoboszlai, but I think, you know, Caicedo, you know, pound for pound, I think was the best midfielder in the league last year. You're not going to expect him to. You know, we're going to have to hope that he drops some form.
Yeah. Enzo
Fernandez,
Lavia,
who can come in, and then they've got people past that, you know, and it's not even that, you know, it's not even getting overrun by the midfield, because even if you get run by the midfield, if they've got a bad attack, you can cope with it. Yeah. But you're talking about Cole Palmer, Nicholas Jackson, you know, Liam Delap, God knows who else, you know what I mean? Like, you know, coming at our defence, and we couldn't cope with the Sunderland defence, the attack the other day. Yeah. So fuck knows what they're going to do to us, you know. You know, and I've seen a lot of West Ham fans, you know, they're really seriously touting fives and sixes. I hope, for fucking Potter's sake, that don't happen, because I think if that does happen, I think Potter could be on the chopping block then.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me to see the team we do have rise to the occasion, but rising to the occasion probably is keeping the score down, right? Yeah. Because we just don't have enough. And I look at it, we are so predictable. And we were so predictable against Sunderland. It's slow build-up, everything down the right-hand side. And Sunderland had the pace to hit us on the break. Chelsea will. And we're not going to see as much of the ball as we did against Sunderland. No. But we haven't got the pace to hit them on the break. That's the problem. We can't counter-attack Chelsea when they're on top. So we've
got to bully.
Yeah.
We've got to get in amongst and hope we rattle a couple of people. Yeah. And that unfortunately... You know, it could happen in midfield. We have got the solidity in midfield.
Well, do you know
the legs?
Do you know one person who could do that? Alvarez.
Alvarez could do that. Yeah, he absolutely could do that.
But he's off apparently to Turkey.
Yeah, he's going to Turkey.
Because I did a video about this, Nick. You've done a video the other day talking about Alvarez. You're very much in favour of Alvarez. How do you feel about us loaning him out?
It's madness. It's madness. Listen, if there's a problem, if there's a real issue with him and Potter, then it's an issue, and it has to be dealt with. And if Potter, and I'm going to say this, and I know Potter isn't in favour at the moment, but if Potter sees him as a disruption in his changing room, then he needs to leave.
Yeah, right? Of course.
Absolutely. What I can't get my head around is Potter being facetious You know what I mean? Like, is he being a little bit like, I don't like him no matter what, you know? Because we've seen it in the past, you know, with players and managers. We've seen players and managers that never will get on, and they, you know, the player has to leave the club unless the manager leaves the club. And you've also seen players and managers that don't get on, but for the sake of the team and for the sake of what you're trying to do in the squad, you have to try and mend them relationships. And I definitely think, especially with the summer he's just had, in terms of the tournament he had, and when you see what we played on the way we played on Sunday, and what we were lacking in midfield, and even what we're lacking in defence, because he could cover either, by the way. I think it's fucking mental that he isn't trying to sort of at least extend an olive branch and say, look, let's give it a try and see if we can mend this relationship.
Yeah, but it can't be so bad, Nick. Like I said, I agree, but even if we have to get rid of him, to loan him out, like to sit there and say, we're not going to get a transfer fee, we're going to send you on loan. You're telling me we can't get a transfer fee for Alvarez, one of someone we paid 35 million for, someone who's so highly rated, the giants of Chelsea, Man United, they was all looking at him. And now we have to loan him out.
It seems it's not on the same Richter scale, so to speak. But it reminds me of when we loaned out Zarate and we didn't have a centre forward.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's what we need. We need something. You know, we might put him in and he might not work. But I'm just saying, the summer he's just had, the stuff that he said post-interview about he wants to stay at West Ham and all that, this seems like a Potton issue, not a Alvarez issue. And I think, you know, I just think if Potter is that way inclined and he's that petty that he thinks, no, I'm not having him around here, right? I don't know what he's done. You know what I mean? Like, so it all depends on what. But if it's just petty that he doesn't like him and there's no forgiveness there, and it's to the detriment of the team, I'm sorry, but that's another mark against him in my opinion. That's another con in the cons column, because you know it's, you know, if it's going to work for the team, swallow your fucking pride. Mm-hmm. It's not like we're blessed with fucking talent. Yeah. So
the thing is, if he's picking Rodriguez again, we've got Rodriguez, Ward-Prowse midfield,
and he's letting Alvarez go, there's something wrong.
And he's gonna he has to realise, like, he's putting himself under increasing pressure. And if we lost 3-0 and people see that same team, then boy, I worry for Potter.
I don't know why the board are agreeing to this either, to be honest with you, because it doesn't benefit them.
Well, they're looking at it, and this is what I've heard. People go, well, it clears them off the wage books. We've got like 7 players off the wage books. Because they're apparently going to pay all these wages.
Yeah, but even still, I mean, in terms of what they could lose if they got relegated, I think that's very short-sighted. I know there's going to be a clause in there that they have to buy him.
Well, it's up in the air at the moment whether it's an obligation or an option. There's going to be a loan fee. There's reported to be a loan fee.
Yeah.
So they're looking at it. We'll get a little loan fee. We'll get him off the wage books, then we can get a transfer fee.
But it's the quality of the player.
But my issue is
especially if you're selling Rodriguez as well.
Yeah, but we're selling Rodriguez. Yeah, we're selling who else? There's someone else in the midfield. Irving. Yeah, but my point is, if we've got this PSR issues and we need to sell to buy, then does loaning someone help? Because we need to raise funds to get in more midfielders.
Well, so what would you like to see on Friday? Like, what would be your starting team from what we've got available? Even Alvarez. If Alvarez was available, who would you be going with? Do you think the back three to pick yourself?
Yeah,
or do you think Alvarez slots in?
I'm toying with the idea of us needing to switch to a 4, but I don't know if we've got the players, and Chelsea is a tough game to experiment with that. So I would say, stick with the back line.
Somerville might be ready.
No, apparently he's not back till after the international break.
Right.
So I'd stick with Wan-Bissaka, like the 3 of them, the youth. Midfield, he's probably not going to play Alvarez. So put Freddie Potts back in.
Yep.
I put Freddie Potts back in. I'm not against Ward-Prowse ever playing, right? We haven't got the options, right? So Ward-Prowse is a little bit better on the ball in terms of passing, and he can press.
But I don't think this is the game.
No.
We're not going to have a lot of the ball.
Yeah, Souček actually probably is a better fit. So I'll go for Potts, Souček, and then it's a tough one because Bowen and the Bowen full crew up top thing. I'm not crazy about it. Bowen on the right hand side, but then we have to change formation. And are we at a point where we can change that formation with the personnel we have. Guilherme is broke his collarbone.
Yeah, but I'm
Which is a
disappointed that
shame.
is. Like, I know he got a lot of stick off me, Potter, and I got to apologise for that because I didn't know he'd broke his collarbone.
Yeah.
It just seemed like he left him out. There is Maxwell Cornet knocking about somewhere. He's never going to get back in the side, I don't think.
No.
And that's another reason. Mavropanos as well. Rodriguez. There's 3 players there that are not going to see the light of day ever again, or they shouldn't.
No, Mavropanos, I think, will make appearances on the
Well,
bench.
I think Mavropanos could be very much replaced by Alvarez. He can cover 2 positions.
He could, but Alvarez he's done. We got to accept he's done at West Ham.
Yeah, but that's what makes it more frustrating for me.
So would you go with the same team I just put out, or would you change it?
No, I'd go for exactly the same.
Yeah.
You have to.
And
And I don't think that's enough.
Yeah.
If I'm honest,
No.
I don't think that's enough.
On the I think the way we've the positives that we've got is I think we've got a very good attack in terms of the players that we've got. We've got Bowen and Fulkrug. You've got Diouf with his crossing ability. You've got Paqueta. You've got Wan-Bissaka, who's good up there. So in terms of attacking, we've got it. And their weakest part is their defence and their goalkeeper. Right, that's their Achilles heel. Their attack and their midfield is better than ours. Our defence, I can't say much for our defence, but their defence is their weakness.
But
and
you
their
do get
goalkeeper.
games where every now and then a defence may step up. You know, I remember at Arsenal away, Mavropanos was probably the worst fucking defender I've ever seen play for West Ham, and I remember him having a couple of solid games at Arsenal. So we have to hope for that. But I think this is all a wing and a prayer.
Our best performances, right? See, I hope all the people that complain I'm negative have stats at this point, but the best performances we've seen under Potter have been against the bigger teams.
Yeah.
So, Arsenal, Liverpool, Man United, like last season under Potter in those big games, we saw the best performances against them. It was all the other star players. So I'm hoping that he can get them like Arsenal away last season. What a performance that was.
You get them G'd up.
Yeah. And
I think the only positive I'm going to say, Friday night under the lights, sometimes, we've pulled some special results up against them before Friday night under the lights or midweek under the lights. So hopefully there's something about us. Look, if we lose narrowly, I won't be too gutted.
No, that's it.
Because they're a good side. They're world champions. I know they didn't have the best performance Saturday, but they have got some fantastic players. And what I see Saturday from us was fucking awful. So if we narrowly lost, but we give our all and we showed that there's at least something about us, it's the collapse that worries me.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the collapse.
This is it. Because if they
won't stop.
Yeah, they won't stop. Look, if they score early, the stadium's going to turn. There's already just this feeling amongst the fan base of
we're fucked.
Yeah, exactly. And if they score, there's going to be no G'ing them on to come back in. And the fact that you already said, and people have been taking the piss out of Potter, but I know what he meant when he said the goal changed the game. People were like, well, obviously, well, no. What he's saying is, we was on top, they scored, we crumbled, and that's worrying.
I think the worrying thing for me is he said the goal changed the game. I don't think he was wrong, but what he didn't mention really is that we, even though they didn't have many intent of attack, we couldn't find an answer, and it wasn't like we was pounding their goal and they hit us on the break, and then we was trying to get back in it. We was literally passing the ball from backwards and sideways all game, and whether it was 0-0 or 3-0.
No, that's the thing, and we've been doing it for the past 2 years.
Yeah.
Like I said, even under Moyes, in the end of Moyes' reign, it started there. Continued to Lopetegui and continued into Potter. So there's an issue, there's some reason, and maybe it is because there's that midfield, so that transition of getting the ball from defence to attack, it's that middle bit.
It is very, especially with the formation, it is very tedious watching trying to transition from midfield because we're not quick enough. All over the pitch, we're not quick enough. We haven't got any pace, and that is what we wanted to see people like Somerville inject his pace, Guilherme inject his pace, because pace causes trouble. Pace causes problems. Nicholas Jackson, I think he's one of the worst footballers I've ever seen. But his pace causes you all sorts of issues.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about in terms of the quality of the footballer. I'm talking about the football he plays.
Yeah.
Like in terms of like the finishing, the techniques and all that.
Yeah.
He isn't blessed in football, but his pace just causes chaos.
We had that with Sacco.
Traore was the same.
Remember, Sacco used to just run at defences. And he was brilliant. And we haven't had that in so long, and we need that. And hopefully we're linked with the midfielder from Lille, I can't remember what his name is, but he played against us and bossed it. And we get that physical presence, mate, in midfield, quick energy. It can transform us, so we need it. So, look,
Let's go for a prediction then.
Real honest prediction.
Not hope.
Not hope. 4-1 Chelsea.
I'll say 3-0 Chelsea.
3-0.
Yeah.
I'm hoping we score a fucking goal this time.
I hope they prove me wrong.
It's me too. That's it. We predicted a win in the last preview, right? And we lost. So now we're predicting a loss. Reverse psychology. That's what it's about.
Okay.
So we'll wrap this up now before you just can't see us because it's getting really dark. But once again, thank you to the Roundhouse. We're going to be here a lot more often and filming some stuff here. Back in a pub, proper content. Football fans in a pub talking football. That's what we want. So thank you to them. Do come and check it out. They're back in the big pub now. And
It's open.
It's open. And we'll see you next time. One thing left to say. Come on, you Lions.